my people? And if you're watching live, check us out on YouTube or listening on your favorite podcast provider, you are most definitely my people. Welcome to another episode of Botched Spots and Chair Shots and the start of the first official Rivet City Radio Subathon. Joining me along this way, specially breaking down the month of July to the top right of your screen, is my brother from another mother. He is from the Wrestletok Worlfpac. He's from Nerdy News at 420. Most importantly, though, he's that ginger ninja, Jaxbo. Jax, how are you, brother?
I've had a rough week, but I'm doing a lot fantastic, and I'm excited to be here.
I'm glad you're here. All things aside, I'm excited that you're signed on to help me out. This is gonna be a lot of fun. Trying to be as organized as possible so I don't, die in the next 36 hours or so. But also perched upon her iron throne on the top left-hand side of the screen is the Hobbit of my Beyonce, the Bonnie to my Clyde. She's the brains behind the operation. She's the boss bitch, Miss Al. Al, how are you?
I'm good.
Excellent. Fantastic. It's going to be a good episode. We've got the Great American Bash on in the background. We're going to watch that, and we're going to talk about what was the month of July in wrestling. But before we get there, as always, I have to ask the question, guys. What has you pissed off for greatness this week in pro wrestling? Jax, what has you the most worked up, man? Good, bad, indifferent?
Fucking CM Punk Real World Championship bullshit that I gotta watch again after watching him do it with John Cena in the WWE.
So do you feel like they're just recycling?
I feel like he's because from what Jericho said, that Tony Khan gives them a lot of leeway with their own stories.
Yeah.
So I think Punk's just recycling old storylines that he's had before. We've seen the dog collar. That was a callback to Raven.
Yeah, no, absolutely, yeah.
Like now we're seeing a dual championship. I'm the real world champion when we all know you were stripped of the title because of injury. So you're not. But that's what's got me pissed off for greatness this week.
I don't disagree with you. I mean, everybody knows in my heart of hearts that I'm not a CM Phil guy. I like CM Punk as a worker. I think Phil Brooks, the person, has proved over time that he's, sometimes maybe not the best person to work with. There's nothing wrong with that. We all have coworkers we don't like, right, guys? We've all been there. We've seen it.
Yeah.
So I don't feel like there's anything wrong with having, issues with your coworkers. But I think when you just put everybody's dirty laundry out there to air the way he does it, it didn't make sense on a professional standpoint. You know what I mean? Because he just kind of laid it out there. And even in pro wrestling, as silly of a world as it is, you don't shit on your employer when you're sitting at the table with him.
Yeah.
And I felt like he did the same thing in WWE, he did the same thing in Ring of Honor, he did the same thing when he was in MMA. Like, if you get called toxic everywhere you've ever worked, you're probably fucking toxic, man.
At some point, you have to realize you are the problem.
Fair.
Al, I just realized I never scarfed up for the episode, guys. Now I'm in full gimmick. I'm back. Will's here. It's okay.
Now we can start this
Now the episode. Hello to all my people, right? Al, what about you? What has you pissed off for greatness tonight in all things pro wrestling?
So I feel like I have to do this yearly.
Did you say yearly?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
You heard that right, ladies and gentlemen.
I do it every year, usually about probably this time. I am tired of the men in the IWC thinking that the girls in the IWC don't know what the fuck we're talking about. Just because we're women and just because our opinions might be different doesn't make them wrong. And I'm tired of me and other female content creators being treated like we don't know anything about wrestling, about the business, and that we're just here for clout. Now, there are some girls that are thirst chasing wrestling guys, but the majority of us are not. And I'm just really tired of having my opinion and other women's opinions ignored because we are female. And also, just to be clear, and I never say anything about this, but like I feel like I've let it go on enough. My name has 2 L's in it.
I like how that little snippet. My name has 2 L's. I like this CM Punk thing. Like I said, I like the work. It's a constant uphill battle for everybody right now. You know, in the female gambit of just about everywhere, you guys have an uphill battle, but especially in wrestling, I see it a lot. Katie Kinsey is another one that comes to mind. Kate from Fightful, Al, obviously, the boss bitch. There's a ton of really powerful women in the IWC. Sammy's another one. There's a lot of really powerful, empowered women in the IWC. And I feel like the same way, it's like, you know, every fuckboy gives a guy a bad name. The same every thirst trap gives somebody like an Al or a Sammy or a Katie or a Kate like a bad name because they're just another girl versus being, you know, a mind, you know, that arguably puts out more original content than some people in the IWC could ever dream about. You know what I mean? Like some of these women have more creativity in their little finger than some of these men do in their whole bodies. And
Al with 2 L's has more creativity in her little finger than I do.
I can second that.
I will forever reference that. Al with 2 L's.
Al with 2 L's.
No, but I agree with her. I've met some of the smartest, knowledgeable wrestling creators that are women.
Mm-hmm.
That without
Bree
TikTok,
on the Wrestletok Worlfpac. Bree's another example. Yeah,
Bree's one of the MJ's one. Like D of positivity. I mean, we could go on, and it sucks. I'm going to say this as a mama's boy, someone who was raised by his mom and his grandmother. It sucks to have to watch females go through an uphill battle.
Agreed.
In every aspect. And from like, you'll take it, Will, from being a chef to wrestling to doing podcasts. It's an uphill battle for women all around. And it's, to me, complete bullshit. It should be an equal playing ground.
In the chef world specifically, one of my sous chefs, she is currently the executive chef at an amphitheater here in Nashville. Like she does all the concession stands and the suites and all, you know, like great gig. And I offered her first sous chef job. And she had been working in kitchens for like 10 years at that point. Shit. And had never got a sous chef gig. And I gave her first sous chef job. And now she's the exec somewhere. So I'm like, hell yeah. Like the uphill battle is surreal for women in 2023. So I definitely agree to that, Al. You've got some shit.
I mean, for anything, if we haven't proven in 2023 with our and I don't do politics. Yeah. But if we haven't proven women are powerful with our vice president being a female.
No, facts. I mean,
they can do whatever the fuck they want. Let them do it. This isn't the 70s anymore.
Perfect example. Yeah. This isn't a political thing. It's just a time of the ages, man. It's not 1970 anymore. AJ brings up a great point. Some of the smartest people in the wrestling community are females. Completely agree with that. You know what I mean?
I mean, look at Stephanie McMahon. I mean, granted, she has stepped away because of whatever, but like, I mean, she is probably one of the most powerful minds in wrestling in general.
Yeah, no, perfect example. Steph is a perfect example of what it is.
AJ Lee's another example.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Gail Kim.
Yeah.
Oh my God, Gail Kim.
Yeah, and Impact.
Maria Bennett.
Yeah, Maria Kanellis in Ring of Honor now, like one of the big prime players in their women's division. And those people are in what are being said to be some of the best booked women's divisions in wrestling right now with Impact and with Ring of Honor, ironically. You know, because people say AEW is kind of shit right now with their women's division, but then you look at what Ring of Honor is doing, and it's like Ring of Honor has a pretty, you know, their women's title package is pretty set. Like Athena's doing a great job as a women's champion right now for them.
Mm-hmm.
My pissed off for greatness this week is kind of a personal one in the wrestling community. None of us recreated the wheel here. Like none of us are the first people to do anything. But I saw a podcast the other day who has started going into indie locker rooms and asking 5 random questions to their guests. And I'm not, like I said, I never created it, but at least nod your fucking head at me before you take the piece of chicken off my plate, because they have a larger following than we do, but they've been in the same group chats with us for well over a fucking year now, and they're just blatantly taking my shit and running with it. And it's like, that's cool and all, but you kind of stole my bag there. You're like, but like I said, it's a personal thing. It is what it is, but plagiarism is very real. So, as we move along, Al, you got any news and rumors for us?
I do, and this one I'm super excited to announce. Roman is finally only carrying one motherfucking belt. Thank the heavens. I don't have to see Paul carrying those retired fucking titles around. Like, they made you a new belt, bro. Like, throw the broken toys away.
That's why me and Allison get along so well, because we're so passionate when it comes to belts. Like, they are prestigious items. Treat them as such.
Agreed. You don't like OC doing it in the backpack, do you?
I fucking hate that. That's not see, I would bring that up on a pissed off for greatness, but people would get tired of me hearing it, because he's a good champion. He was great in Chikara. The Orange Cassidy can work.
Facts.
He can wrestle his ass off. I won't take anything away from him.
Yeah.
Don't put the fucking book bag.
In
Don't
a
put the
Gen
title in the
Sport
book
backpack.
bag. Yeah, like, if you're gonna be lazy, just drag it a little bit, but at least carry it.
I will
carry it.
I will say, at least, this Josh Alexander didn't do it to take the backpack to the ring, but when he's out in public and he's carrying when he was carrying the Impact title with him, he had it in a backpack.
Well, that's understandable, because those motherfuckers probably get heavy as shit walking around with them.
He did. Sure. He was like, "Hey, I got the belt with me. Do you want to see it?" The D'Angelo family just won the NXT Tag Titles, ladies and gentlemen. That was great. That was actually a really good match. That was like a really solid fucking match.
And AJ, I think we're all still mad that Tyrus is still the NWA champ.
That's not for long though. NWA 75 is right around the corner in August, and
it's going to be Violent J dethroning Tyrus. I'm calling it now,
dude. This is kind of a free for all. Anything goes, anyways. Technically speaking, it was in June. But we had a chance to see the Brothers of Instruction in NWA, and that's who Violent J is managing. So the idea of Violent J, the craziest of all the insane clowns, managing a group of crazy zombie clowns in the NWA is fucking brilliant. I can only imagine what that match is going to be like.
It's going to be, and Violent J, as we know from his WCW and his WWE and their ECW run, you got to give it to ICP. They've been everywhere.
They'll take bumps, dude. They will bump.
Those motherfuckers. Listen, I say this with the utmost due respect, and I'm going to look directly at my camera. Juggalo, the ICP fan group, I have a lot of respect for y'all, because y'all some crazy motherfuckers with the shit you will do to yourselves.
The parody act Blue Cane. Have you seen that on Twitter? Have you seen it, Al?
Yes, I've seen it.
I don't think so.
Oh my god, dude! Did you see what happened to him? Let me pull something up real quick. He's a parody
coming
account.
out as Yellow Abyss.
Yeah,
the wrestling gimmick.
It's a gimmick that he was honestly it's Kane from the WWE, but he's in blue. So
did we see him?
No, we saw something similar to it, but that wasn't him. This guy's in Europe, I think.
Oh.
Let me see if I can find a picture of him. I'll bring him up, and we might get hit with a copyright for this. I don't even care. __ Blue Pain. What a stupid name. Okay, I can't find it.
I mean, could it be like a Sub-Zero style Kane? Like
he took all of his pictures off too. But that's kind of what he was a Sub-Zero Kane. He was like the ice god or whatever. And regular Kane is the fire god, I guess. It's like a Pokemon or what, you know?
Yeah, I guess we're Yu-Gi-Oh! And shit nowadays.
Yeah. But the long and the short of it is, I think the Blue Kane gimmick was hilarious. I sent them an email to try to get an interview, and they just said no. like in one simple word, just no. And I was like, okay, perfect.
I have an off the wall thing, and I don't mean to interrupt. But have y'all seen the living legend, the indie legend guy on TikTok?
What's his
Where
name?
he's like, I'm trying to remember his name is my problem.
Oh, he's the OVW heavyweight champion.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. Shout out to him for becoming OVW world champion.
Yeah, what is it? It's the pro wrestler something. But he's the guy who does, the thigh slap guy from TikTok.
Yeah,
pro wrestler versus indie wrestlers. Yeah, he just won the thigh slap. Jamie gets it.
Jake, whatever. I can't pronounce that. So.
Oh yeah, Jack Vaughn. There you go. Jack Vaughn. I don't know why I brain farted and couldn't remember that. I love that dude.
He's like the veteran Jack Vaughn or something.
There you go. That's it. Yeah, the veteran Jack Vaughn. Hilarious ass dude. I love him. Al, it's back to you now. What's next on your list?
We're finally getting The Rock back at SummerSlam, but against Grayson Waller.
Yeah. I mean, everything points to that, right? Like, nothing's been officially said.
They have said that Grayson Waller will have a match with a legend, and they haven't released who it is. Rock's desperate for money, and it gets him in the building when, hopefully, Jay takes the belt off of Roman, and Rock can just be like,
ooh,
nah,
to start
bitch.
they always say Vince always started booking WrestleMania at SummerSlam.
Right. So this would this would give everybody what they want, Roman and The Rock, but not for a title, because it makes zero sense to put The Rock up for a title. So they got to get that belt off of Roman before he can go against The Rock.
That makes sense. Does Gallus get called up now? I would say that would probably be most of the time they do the swan song, especially with title contenders when they're about to get called up. And we know Gallus was in talks during the draft. I mean, it would make sense for them to get called up relatively soon, right?
God, give me them an Imperium.
Dude, wouldn't that be a fantastic fucking match? So much good stuff.
Let them call it in the ring.
Yes.
Don't script them. Let them call it in the ring.
One of the things I'm going to be doing overnight with the subathon is I'm going to be streaming Memphis wrestling, like Jerry Lawler, like Jimmy Hart, like Memphis wrestling. And I'm going to do like
shit.
Yeah, I want to do like a tape study segment where we watch guys that call it in the ring, and then I'm going to parallel it with like Battle of Los Angeles 2016, like back to back. So we'll watch an hour of Memphis wrestling, and then I'll bring up Battle of Los Angeles, and we'll watch an hour of each and go, what do we think about the product 30 years apart? You know what I mean?
That'll be fun to do.
Yeah. So we'll watch a little bit of a match, then we'll watch a little bit of a recent match. Like, I've got some cool stuff written down for us that's going to be a lot of fun to do with everybody who wants to tune in.
AJ says Jay wins and Priest cashes in on Jay. Brand splits aren't, real, but I feel like they've built so much that Damien's going to cash in on Seth. Like, I don't think that he would cash in on Jay, but I think it would be cool.
The company wants to put Damien in a lead role somehow, and taking the belt from Seth to him is tough, the same way taking the belt from Roman to him would be tough. The Money in the Bank briefcase adds that built-in like buffer and safety net of protecting your champion, because if Roman loses the belt to Jay or is about to lose, and then it cashes in, Damien comes in and cashes in like the 11th hour and beats Roman. Like, it's a way to protect him in that reign without him having to take a clean L. So there's ways to get out of it, to where they could give the belt to Jay, they could give it to Jay and let Damien cash in. They could let Finn beat Seth and then Damien cash in then, you know what I mean? Or something similar. Like, there's a lot of things they can do with Mr. Money in the Bank as it goes.
Yeah. I just like that, but that would split up Judgment Day, because Rhea and Finn and Dom would still be on Raw.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. It would split them up, because if Damien beats Roman or pins Jay, that Damian by default would be drafted to SmackDown.
And didn't they just
Splitting up
say?
Judgment Day.
And didn't one of the regular guys like Fightful or one of those? Didn't they say that Judgment Day was like the number one faction now that Bloodline's pretty much done after this pay-per-view?
Yeah.
Like, didn't they say that Judgment Day was going to be the best, like the number one faction, anyways?
Yeah. I mean,
I don't watch NXT a lot. They don't usually have this big fucking stage, do they? Like, this is just because it's a premium live event.
Yeah, they're out of town. They're in Texas tonight.
Oh.
Normally, they've been doing a lot of their premium live events out of state.
Yeah.
Normally, NXT stays in Florida. Like their house show loops are all Florida. Their weekly shows are all Florida. I think this is now showing NXT as a third brand, going, hey, these kids can do it on their own and sell out arenas.
Scout says premium live events are going on the road now. I completely like, and I feel like you and I have talked about this, Jax. I know I've mentioned it to Al on previous episodes about them using NXT to go on the road and use it as like a developmental, like independent program versus just being developmental in the PC in Florida. Like, put them on the road, give them ring time, give them time to like build and get time in front of crowds, because running once a week is very bare minimum, and them staying in the NXT arena or whatever they call it now that it's not the Thunderdome anymore, but like it gives these kids the ability to like work out on the road and get that
different crowds.
Yes. I talk about it a lot in my interviews, how important it is to be able to read the crowds and going from territory to territory and stuff, because, it's the old school way of thinking with dividing the country up into territories like that, but it's still very much reminiscent of that. You watch wrestling in Memphis, it's very different than, out in Knoxville, or if you go to, the Midwest up towards Minnesota or down towards Louisiana or Texas, like Florida. Everybody still has the remnants and the skeleton of the NWA days. As far as the perfect examples, the 2300 Arena in Philadelphia. You go there, those fans are always fucking blood hungry. Like, if you don't know how to plead those fans, like, you can't, like, they'll eat you alive if you're not careful.
I'm going to be curious on NXT, because they'll have a show in Philly this year for WrestleMania, how NXT performs in front of a Philly crowd.
I'm curious about it. If I'm able to get to Philly in 40, the 2300 Arena is more on my bucket list than the WrestleMania show is, because WrestleMania will be in Nashville in 2027. But like, I don't know when I'll have a chance to see it at the 2300 again.
2027 is when that's probably when I'll go. But I'm like you. I'm more excited for the shit I can do around WrestleMania than I am actual WrestleMania. I'd rather go to a hotel room, like elf ears, and smoke a bowl and actually enjoy the show than go fight a crowd.
Oh yeah, we're gonna put the cart before the horse. But WrestleMania in Nashville, we're gonna open up the studio to everybody who's coming to town, and we're gonna do huge live streams, like multi-broadcasts, like get on make our house like Radio Row for wrestling podcasters during WrestleMania. Give everybody a place to broadcast.
So be prepared for me to show up.
Well, you have a place to crash anyways, no matter whatever. Jax was Effie like. Jax, what was Effie like?
What was Effie like? Oh, I met Effie. Effie's a fucking sweetheart. Like, there's no other way to put it but to describe him as just probably one of the most. I talked to him because the coincidental thing is when I got to meet Effie, I was streaming solo on Twitch, and I raided him the weekend before they did that wrestling convention I went to. And so when I got to the wrestling convention, I was like, hey, man, your birthday stream, I rated you. He was like, oh, so you're the Ginger Ninja. I was like, yeah. So it was cool to connect and like have that little bit of outside of wrestling connection. But like we sat there for 10, 15 minutes. It was back when he was GCW tag champ. Got to hold the belt. Those bitches are heavier than hell. But no, he's just all around. If you get a chance to ever meet Effie or interview Effie, jump on that bitch full force. He's a sweetheart of a guy.
He's on my list. We've crossed paths at shows. I've never had a chance to meet him. He's one of those guys, like, if you know the independent scene, every year around WrestleMania, I think for the last 2 or 3 years, it may be coming up on year 4, he does an event WrestleMania weekend called Effie's Big Gay Brunch.
Oh,
And
I
it
love
is,
the big gay brunch.
dude, it is so much fun to watch because it's literally wrestlers from every walk of life that come out there, and they just have like what looks to be the most fun in a professional wrestling show ever for like 3 hours straight.
Yeah, that's what I'd be more excited for at WrestleMania is the stuff like the big gay brunch, Ziggy Dice's Outlandish Paradise show.
Yeah.
Like going to all these different events is well worth more of the money than going to one big one.
Could you imagine like going to the Basement East, like a venue that's literally underground to watch Josh Barnett's Bloodsport? You know what I mean? Like that would be so fucking dope. Like I can't wait for WrestleMania weekend in Nashville.
Traffic's going to be terrible.
It's going to be so bad. Joey Janela's Spring Break's another perfect example. GCW, in my opinion, right now is doing the best with being able to go from market to market and highlight what each market does well. Like when they come down here and they did the GCW versus New South stuff, they did so well complimenting like the traditional Southern wrestlers by adding the GCW flair to it. And they do this everywhere. And it's so cool the way they do it. Brent Lauderdale's a fucking genius. He gets a lot of shit from some of the guys that work for him, but he's killing it right now as far as indie promoters go. Al, what's on your list?
Vince McMahon had life-altering spine surgery this week.
That's unfortunate. I
sucks.
I feel like this is one of those times where I could make a really out of color joke and be like, I'm convinced this man is going to outlive everybody.
Well, I think it was to fix
Jeez,
like previous issues he was having with his back. Like I don't think it was like it was like planned surgery.
Well, he bumped for what, 15 years in the business when he was
he
actually like
card.
Yeah, like he took a lot of, and not just like small bumps. Like he did street fights and cage matches and shit. Like he was wrestling.
Yeah. Apparently the surgery was 4 hours long.
That's crazy. I've never had a 4-hour procedure of any kind.
So.
Yeah.
Hope for his best. I mean, Vince, no matter what, even if you hate him as a shitty person, you never want to see bad stuff happen to good people.
Right.
You don't really want to see bad stuff happen to bad people either. So get well soon. Stay out of wrestling.
Yeah.
Is that how we say that?
Ironically, like it's also
take a long rehab.
This month was the anniversary of him like retiring, but we all see like how that turned out. So
he would do anything you'd expect his performers to do. You're absolutely right, Scals, 100%. That's the way he would do it. He planned to he always said, and a lot of people, including Mankind, has said it, and Mick Foley had said that Vince wouldn't ask you to do something he wouldn't do himself. And there were times where Foley would come up with shit and Vince would be like, I don't know about that. And like, he would actually have to convince him to let him do things. But, you know, like I said, we don't yuck any yums. Some people love Vince McMahon. Some people hate him. I'm somewhere in between.
Still within the McMahon family, Triple H was also not at Raw this week. Bruce Pritchard ran the show, but Triple H is expected back very soon. It didn't say why Triple H is going to be out, but he's just out. I would assume because Vince had surgery, probably just being there for all of that situation. Because, you know, Vince is alone.
Well, I mean, it makes sense. Especially like Scal said it there because of Vince's surgery. Knowing that Vince had surgery and him and Linda are, I don't know if the divorce has ever been finalized.
They're estranged. I think it was finalized. I don't know.
I know she's still a what's it called, like stock B holder of WWE.
Something like that.
Like she holds the special stocks that only the specific owners get a hold. Like Vince, Triple H, Nick Khan, Stephanie, and Linda are the only ones that like got to hold the option B stocks or whatever they're called.
Controlling entrance stocks and whatever.
Yeah, they were that was the short list of people that had them. So. Knowing his father-in-law's having surgery and everything going on behind the scenes, it would make sense for him to miss work.
Exactly.
And that's really commendable too, knowing that historically the person sitting in that seat at Gorilla would like work through deaths in the family and stuff. Like Vince never took time off. So the fact that Triple H is having a work-life balance, like Good on old Paul. Way to go,
Yeah.
Paul Levesque.
Paul. This isn't actually on my news and rumors, but something I saw like an old article the other day, and I brought it up because I thought it was really cool. So Stephanie and Triple H's oldest daughter started 2 years ago training in the Performance Center to be a wrestler. She's switching, so she's 17 now. So my question is, when she does eventually join the roster, do we think she's going to be her own person? Is she going to be a McMahon, or is she going to be a Hurst Hemsley?
I think my personal pick would be her being a Helmsley. Like
I would think a Helmsley.
Yeah, to come in as that posh Connecticut, like, prissy fighter, the way her dad was. Like, I think that would be a ballsy move if she didn't go the Braun Breaker route and not take her dad's name. You know what I mean? Like, if she wanted to come in and be her own, and Ava Rain's another good person, like a good representation of that. If she decided to do it herself, then like I would be absolutely okay with that. But I think if she were to take one of the family names, it would 100% be a Helmsley.
Yeah, I agree with AJ. I would absolutely want a match between her and Ava. 1,000%.
On topic with the McMahons, AJ just sent me this on Instagram. Thank you, AJ. Ryback claims that Vince McMahon will be forgotten after he dies. His legacy will not be well, Ryback says. The things that are going to come out about him will forever ruin the contributions he made to pro wrestling. He will be forgotten. Do you think we live in a world at any point where the name Vince McMahon won't be synonymous with the sport pro wrestling?
Am I allowed to take a hot take?
Yeah.
Do it.
Yeah. Hold on. You ready? Go, Jax.
Benoit killed 2 fucking people, and we still talked about his wrestling shit today, and there ain't no way in hell Vince will forever have a name concreted in wrestling. All right? If you get to he cheated, he paid some women off. That's fucking feathers compared to what some of these guys have done. I mean, Jesus. Ryback just needs to shut the fuck up.
You're not wrong.
Carlos Colon facilitated an entire murder, and he's in the whole thing.
And he's in the hall. Sonny killed a motherfucker just not like 6 months ago, and she's still in the Hall of Fame.
Yeah, she's in jail for what? What did you say the other day when you looked it up, Al? Like,
Is it vehicular homicide?
Scal says Ryback's a fucking moron. Jimmy Snuka, another perfect example.
That's another fucking
O.J.
one,
Simpson is in the Hall of
Hulk
Fame.
Hogan.
Yeah.
Ray Lewis
Hulk
has
Hogan
been
was banging Bubba Lovespun's wife.
Ray Lewis has been acquitted of murder twice, meaning they didn't have enough evidence to find him guilty on 2 separate murders that he was linked with, and he's still in the NFL Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
Jesus.
So
I mean, out of the infamous Candy Bowl, guys. See,
that was full at the beginning of the week. Yeah, exactly. That.
Mm-hmm. Trump being in the Hall of Fame is a perfect example.
New Japan sources tell Fightful that AEW's current plan for Will Ospreay is to have a match against Chris Jericho at All In on August 27th.
I have to agree with Jax. Everything he just said.
Like, why would he have a match with Chris Jericho? Like,
Will Ospreay runs circles around, make Chris Jericho look like a green bitch.
If we at All In, is that what you said?
Mm-hmm.
At All In, if they don't give us Will Ospreay, Kenny Omega 3, they're literally just burning money. Like, they need to give us the rubber match between them. And yes, I know they wrestled before in 2016, but everybody can agree with me, I think, that
this is a resurgence.
Will Ospreay and Kenny Omega were very different people in 2016 compared to the mega stars they are today. Yeah. And I can't fucking believe I said that. Like, how am I a Kenny Omega fan, a Will Ospreay fan, and a Young Bucks fan all at the same time in pro wrestling? 2023 is fucking weird.
Because you're a monster. I will never ever be a Kenny Omega fan. Ever.
You have your reasons. We'll bring you
I'm
on after
sending you a
dark.
shirt that says Kenny Omega's my hero.
Negative.
I swear to God, I have one. I got into Pro Wrestling Tees, and it's a big Kenny Omega on there doing the whole gun thing. It says Kenny Omega, my hero, on the bottom of it. If I ever come to Nashville, I'm bringing it to you.
No. I also will never be a Young Bucks fan.
I got a Young Buck shirt too. I'll bring to you.
Listen, Jack. I need somebody to make me a counterfeit Bucks shirt. Like, I'm still sad that never came, that was not immediately made a
Pro
shirt.
Wrestling Tees didn't jump on that?
No.
Even the Bucks
What
said if
the
this was 2018, we would already have a counterfeit Bucks shirt
Like,
out.
no one has made a counterfeit Bucks shirt. I think we need to add it to our merch store. Like, come on.
If there would be a way for us to pull it off without I think
Pro
we
Wrestling Tee hasn't. No one's
no
actually
one's
copyrighted
it.
I don't know if you
totally
can
make
copyright
that.
the term counterfeit bucks.
No. We just can't use their likeness.
Big white letters, counterfeit bucks.
Counterfeit Bucks.
You're a smart lady that can dance around
Listen.
legality. Let's make it happen.
We're going on whatever date, the 16th,
Yeah.
2 weeks, whatever, when they're in Nashville.
Mhm.
We're making and wearing counterfeit Bucks shirts. Like, I don't even like
give a
CM
fuck
Punk.
what happened.
Like, I don't even like CM Punk. But that line with perfection.
Yeah,
Perfection.
lots of counterfeit Bucks. I'm sorry, I'm lost in a Carmelo Hayes highlight reel right now. He's
That
so
match is
fucking
going to be
good.
amazing.
So good. Ilya Dragunov and Walter had my 2022 match of the year with their showdown at TakeOver. No, 2021. Sorry. Yeah.
Beat the shit out of each other.
Yeah, they did. They beat the absolute shit out of each other. Is Will enjoying NXT? Who would have thought? They're actually putting people on screen. I know, Scals. I know who Carmelo Hayes and Ilya Dragunov are. I didn't know at first. It took me a second to realize who Gallus was wrestling. Then I remembered it was the D'Angelo family. I know who they are because of Matt. Mattrider. I don't know who this lady is. Who's the lady in the boxing robe? Jax.
Tia Hale. She
Tia
is
Hale.
part of Chase University. She will be going up against Tiffany Stratton, the NXT Women's Champion.
Thea Hale. I see
know.
Tiffany Stratton. I know who she
Isn't
is.
she a second generation?
I don't know if she is or not, honestly.
I don't know. What the fuck is this?
It's a pirate ship.
Oh, fuck, it's Corbin.
Is he a pirate now? Am I going to be forced to be a Baron
Listen.
Corbin friend?
The greatest thing that Baron Corbin is doing right now is his
All
TikTok
right.
battle with Chef Reacts.
Did you see him pretend to be Chef Reacts?
Yes, it was the best.
I
Burn
fucking
the
loved it.
ships, Baron Corbin. What the fuck does that even mean?
That's,
He's burning. I don't know.
I saw did you see the promo where he like burned everything in the kiln, like the King of the Ring?
Yeah, I
crown,
saw that. Maybe that's what he's doing.
Like just burning everything. And
they're
he got
just-
Scout says he's got new music. It's muted right now on my end, Scouts. Yeah.
here's the thing. Like, he's a great wrestler, but like find the gimmick and stick to it and stop like constantly changing it.
They should have never took him away from the Lone Wolf.
I like him. This is the closest to the Lone Wolf. Agreed, it's not his fault. This is the closest to the Lone Wolf I think we'll get. So I think I'm gonna let this one like simmer for a while before
I'm gonna cook on this one.
Yeah, I'm gonna let this one cook before I make an initial reaction, because I think he's proven to me that he's a respectable heel the same way Mike the Miz did.
Yeah.
So I'm
Like,
here
I
for
think
it.
he's amazing. I just wish that they would like stop jerking him around like with different things. Like
This motherfucker's about
give him a chance to like be something and kill it like we know he can.
Mhm.
So my next thing about people not getting good
I'm not a
creative.
fan.
You're not a fan
Nope. I don't like him.
of Gable Steveson?
Fuck him.
Oh no, he's definitely not a good person. He shouldn't be in WWE TV programs.
There's only one true Olympic gold medalist that should have ever stepped foot in the WWE, and that's Kurt Angle, and I'll stand there on that hill until I die.
Well, Gable Stevenson also has done a lot of problematic things
in college that got swept under the rug. He has a problematic past, I think is the term the NFL likes to use for guys that are on a short leash so they don't get in trouble.
Yeah.
Gable Stevenson is one of those people, apparently.
Agreed. Okay.
That is a dope-ass look coming out with that medal, though. That's a ballsy move. And he wiped his feet for you, Al. And he wiped his feet.
That's like the legit medal, too.
Yeah, that's his gold medal. I wonder if he's going to hand it to the stagehand just for
Oh, yeah. Knew he was going to fucking bite that shit.
Do you think Baron Corbin puts this guy over? Like, call it now. Do you think Baron Corbin wins?
Yeah.
Or does he put Gable Stevenson over for the win?
What?
Corbin get his back tattooed.
Jesus Christ, look at that.
Did you see that? Is that new?
That's got to be brand new.
That's got to be, dude.
Shiny.
I don't like the X logo, by the way, for Twitter. He's killed everything he's done. I kind of love it, man. Like, Scouts, we should do an NXT review show.
Listen, you need someone down for that. I watch shit out of NXT.
Everyone does a review show. Like, let's. No.
I don't think there's anything wrong with a review show, but I think adding it to the network rotation isn't bad. It's not going to be the fucking like. It's not Friday Night Review or Paying Dues or Botched Spots, but we could still do an NXT watch along review just for the views. Like, I don't see anything wrong with it. Scouts, let's work. Let's get an NXT show together, Scouts. She's like, I don't want any part of NXT.
it's not that. Anyway,
why don't you like NXT?
What's your beef with NXT, Al? We've got 12 hours to talk about it.
Yeah, we got time. We got time, Al, with 2 L's.
So
see, Scout says he was thinking about doing one. Scowls and Ginger's doing an NXT show. See,
my thing with NXT is on the hierarchy of the wrestling, like there has to be one on the bottom, and
Warrior Wrestling's right there, close to it.
We already watch wrestling on Mondays, Wednesdays, Fridays. We go to wrestling on Saturdays. We do wrestling on Thursdays and Sunday shows. Like, I just need a day that's not wrestling, man.
Don't be rude, Snipe.
First of all, I was today years old when I learned that Snipes is Scouse because he usually uses the off the top. I did not know that Snipe was Scouse.
He says, well, apparently that's Friday nights now. Everything's up in the air right now. We're 30 days old. We have plenty of time to figure all this out, ladies and gentlemen.
Anyways, speaking of someone from NXT and poor creative, Dexter Lumis hasn't been seen on WWE television in recent weeks because creative doesn't know what to do with him. Because Johnny Gargano is hurt.
His main roster run was mediocre at best, I would say.
Yeah.
Is mediocre. I mean, he hasn't had a run, really. What has he had, like, a match?
Oh, you know me, I'm the king of pulling up statistics. Let me see what Dexter Lumis has done since he's been on the main roster.
Fuck around with the Miz?
Yeah, he's wrestled the Miz once or twice.
I liked him. This is going to go back to the whole black and gold argument. I'm going to start making 2 a.m. content and expand our reach into uncharted waters. Dude, don't even get started. I had an idea for a show the other night that I wanted to write down, but I was like, this will only work at 3 o'clock in the morning, so we won't get banned. Matches.
This will only work when people are asleep and don't watch it.
He wrestled since his call-up 1. He's had a shit ton of live events. Never mind. He's only wrestled on TV 5 times, 6 times since his call-up in a year and a half.
Damn.
But he's fucking tore it up in house shows, though. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 house shows inside of that time. Like, I'm going to start doing hot tub content Dude, that's how you
Only
get
if you have the raccoon.
Shh.
You gotta get the rec.
Shadow, buddy. I'll come up to Canada and we'll do hot tub content together.
Dude, three dudes with a beard.
Yeah.
I feel like that's a show.
Dude, the hot tub roundtable is a fucking
roundtable.
genius idea for a show. Three dudes like hanging out, having a drink, like in a hot tub, talking about life. The hot tub roundtable. Scowls, are you writing this down? Is somebody writing this down?
No, we're not.
We can stroke each other's beards. Man, absolutely. At raccoon and the chicken. See, you put the chicken in the hot tub. 6 hours later, you got chicken soup.
That's disgusting.
Yeah.
Chicken and Jaxbo soup.
I have a nice glass of champagne.
God, I love everything about the
with cherries.
Mm-hmm.
Make it all seductive like.
Who's filming this for you guys?
Al with 2 L's.
Al with 2 L's.
Oh my.
Corbin is beating the shit out of Gable Steveson right now. But once again, I'm still pretty sure that Gable will come back.
Okay, can we talk about, like, they have 2 Olympic gold medalists that have Gable in their fucking name?
Kurt Angle?
No, Chad Gable.
Chad Gable.
He's not a gold medalist.
Yeah, he was a bronze medalist.
Whatever. They have 2 Olympians with the same fucking name. Dumb. Anyways.
You got anything else on your news and rumors?
Yeah. After a report that he was arrested earlier this month for a DUI and speeding, Buff Bagwell tweeted that he had to spend time in jail for DUI, but this was from the original offense years ago, and that he was recently sanctioned for failing to properly document an out-of-state trip, which we saw him at. The former WCW wrestler has been living with Diamond Dallas Page and says he'll celebrate 11 months of sobriety.
I'm glad that the report wasn't him breaking sobriety. Then
yes.
I'm glad it's from a previous offense.
Same.
Because my first thought was, damn it, Buff, you were like, I think literally you sent me this text message, Al, and it was, damn it, Buff, you were doing so good.
I know.
You know?
Like, I'm really cheering for Buff. Like, he's really trying to, like,
that was a cool spot.
Do good.
Going over the announce table.
It's over.
Oh, what'd they do? I can't. Oh, they double count out? That's a good way to protect them both.
It protects both of them.
Yeah, that's a great way to do it. Match of July is the Bloodline Civil War. We're going to get to that after news and rumors, AJ. We're going to go through our favorite pay-per-views, our favorite storylines, and our favorite matches of July. I've got some stuff written down. We're going to bounce some stuff off of you guys in the chat while we hang out and watch Great American Bash.
Well, my last one is Drew McIntyre will not be at the Go Home show on Monday as he is filming a movie, but he will obviously be at SummerSlam. If he's not a Scottish warrior in a kilt, I don't want it.
The second coming of Braveheart.
I said he has to be. Almost feel like you almost have to have him in a kilt, right?
Mm-hmm.
Have we read anywhere? Do we know if you've confirmed? Has he signed a long-term deal or anything yet? Is he still working on like the good faith mantra or whatever it would be? Where he's working working in hopes that they'll sign the deal or whatever.
Let's find out.
Because the last I heard was that he wasn't under a long-term deal yet. Brian Pillman supposedly signing with NXT according to Hoover.
I did hear that. I saw that on Twitter.
What do you think about Pillman going to NXT versus the main roster? Do you think he needs it, Jax?
I think Pillman thrives in them small areas.
Do you think he's made for more of that indie feel?
He was amazing in OVW.
Yeah.
He was like the stuff that he did as a Hollywood or the Varsity Blondes on Dark and Dark Elevation. Not saying that Brian Pillman Jr. can't be a main roster star. I just think right now in his career, he's more of that not right there at the main roster spot. I think 6 months in NXT to go at adequate with how WWE runs their stuff.
Yeah.
Because all he's known from a big production standpoint is AEW. So he needs to learn the WWE way of it.
Drew said to Bleacher Report, it was cool getting the break. There were a lot of rumors and headlines on the internet when I was out, probably like 50 different things. It was amazing all the stories about me out there. When you're not on TV, people talk, and there might have been some smoke to some fire with a few of them, but it was nice. People were talking about me when I wasn't there, but I did have to get some things fixed physically. Unlike injuries I've had in the past, there was no rehab involved, so I was actually able to enjoy my time at home, work on some outside projects, and spend time with the missus and the cat, and take a step outside of the bubble and kind of get perspective again. His contract is set to expire in early 2024. The two sides have yet to agree to a new deal. This is current as of July 27th. So
Okay.
no, they have not reached a deal as of yet.
Do we think that affects the idea of them taking the belt off of Gunther? Because my frame of mind is that Gunther's not dropping that belt till he beats Honky's record, right?
Right.
AJ, I haven't started Twisted Metal yet. I want to watch it at some point over the next few days, and I'm going to make Jack begrudgingly watch it because I know it's just going to be so upsetting for him.
Oh, yes, because I didn't play the video. I just finished. You'll be so happy of this, Will.
What?
I just finished season 2, episode 1 of Heels. I'm done with
Yes!
season 1, buddy.
Such a good show, man.
I've been watching it. You said we were going to talk about it Tuesdays. I started
Yes,
binge
we
watching the
are.
shit out of it.
You finished season 1 and the first episode of season 2?
Yep.
Dude, it's so good.
Dude,
I'm
the
like,
ending of season 1,
dude,
that caught me out of nowhere.
Spoiler alert, if you want to keep listening about what happened in season 1, don't stop right now. But, okay, spoilers coming now. When Crystal climbed the ladder and took the belt at the end of the match in the season finale, I was like, what the fuck? Like,
I was like, not expect that character arc to come to effect.
Dude, I popped like I was watching a real match. Like, I was like, can she fucking do that? Was she in the match? Like, how'd that happen? Like, I was blown away. Such a good story. I made the joke the other night when I was on Smacking It Raw. I said that Heels is just as much of a TV show about wrestling as WWE is, and I kind of feel it. Like, it's a TV show.
I got a real cool thing when I realized that the Florida promotion was based out of Jacksonville, and they do the flyover of the downtown skyline. That's actual fucking Jacksonville, Wells Fargo, and everything. I'm thinking, okay, this is cool as shit.
I love the character arc of the rival promoter in Jacksonville. The like rock star dude who's ultimately doing like his version of an ECW, like the hardcore like deathmatch stuff. Like the show's so good. People go watch Hills.
And that actor started as a Nickelodeon game show host.
Yeah, he did. That's hilarious.
The show is freaking amazing. I tweeted the other day to Stars and Stephen Amell. Stephen Amell's character's name is Jack Spade, and like when he walked into the ring, he didn't wipe his feet, and like that's a thing for me. I said Jack Spade walking into the ring without wiping his feet like a fucking monster. And Stars official Twitter liked it and they bookmarked it. I swear to God, if they have a storyline next season or if they start having the wrestlers wipe their fucking feet, be like, bitches, you need to send me some money.
That's like your biggest pet peeve, and you say it all the time. Like if you watch a wrestler, like if they don't wipe their feet, you're like fucking monster.
Yeah, AJ Lee is in Heels too, and also a CGI'd CM Punk without his tattoos.
That was wild.
So weird.
It's so weird seeing that.
Yeah.
Like he comes walking in, you're just like,
you have to double take for a second. That's CM Punk.
That's CM Punk. He looks a lot smaller without his tattoos.
That is CM fucking Punk, ladies and gentlemen.
The show's so good. If you don't watch it, watch Heels on Stars. It's amazing. I want it to keep going. People need to like have traction with this. Like, it's amazing. They use actual like local indie wrestlers.
Oh yeah, a bunch of our boys from New South were in episode 1 and episode 2.
Like the extras, like the wrestlers and like the locker room and stuff are actual like real indie wrestlers. Like, it's fucking fantastic.
I think the most famous one I've seen that was a background character was Luke Gallows.
Luke Gallows was in season 1. Effie was in season 1.
Yeah, Effie was in season 1.
Season 2, they have what's his name? McQueen. Dylan McQueen was in episode 1. A few of our other friends are coming up in episode 2, but we can't say nothing about it yet because it ain't aired. But they use so much indie talent that's ridiculous. So they're not just paying Hollywood extras to go pretend to be wrestlers. Like, they're actually getting people in there that know how to wrestle. So when you see them doing shit in the background, it's actually people who know how to work. So, like, I applaud the producers for actually doing the hard work.
And Stephen Amell has properly trained. He's done matches before, so like the actors are like doing what they need to do.
All of them have trained in ring work, so I'm happy with it. Way to go, Hills.
Does it make it feel more like realistic since they have trained in this industry and they can take the bumps instead of it looking like a scripted fight we see in fucking The Matrix?
Well, we saw Al hasn't seen it yet. We keep talking about watching the original All In, but Stephen Amell had an actual match.
Yeah. Stephen Amell, he's good.
Like, he ran an actual match on a pay-per-view and like finished it. It was that was the same night that Cody took the 10 pounds of cold off of Aldis.
All In is on YouTube if you want to watch it, part 1 and 2.
Is it? Oh yeah.
I think All In and All Out, the first ever All Out's on YouTube.
I need David Arquette to be in season 4.
David Arquette, the greatest WCW.
Yeah, he did wrestle. He did wrestle in a WCW pay-per-view with Adrian Neville.
Scal says no one needs David Arquette. Are you one of those purists? When did Mike show up?
I just thought it would be funny to say because he's an actor and he's a trained wrestler.
Oh, I get what Scouts is saying now. Like, yeah. Mustafa Ali, ladies and gentlemen. Who do we got in the North American title match?
Dirty old Dom, baby.
Yeah, I definitely think Dirty Dom. Did you say that was the last of your news and rumors?
Mm-hmm.
All right, let's dive into some month-end stuff and talk about some stuff happening in the world of wrestling. Like I said, I kind of broke it down. I'm going to start with pay-per-views. There were 4 big pay-per-views in July, guys. Ring of Honor, Death Before Dishonor. Al, that was the one, or Jax, that was the one you and I watched with Wills, right? That was such a good show. Impact Slammiversary
was good.
Also a fantastic show. Money in the Bank. And then I put Blood and Guts on here because AEW technically didn't do a pay-per-view really in July that I can remember. And when I looked at the schedule, I didn't see one because they're running All In and All Out back-to-back weeks the first week of July.
Yeah.
But so thinking about the shows of those 4, what do you guys think was the best pay-per-view of the month of July? Of what we've watched? Because I want to take bits and pieces of each one and put like a super card together because each one of those 4 had some really great things.
Yeah, like each had good things and each had like crap things. Like I wouldn't say like one overall show was better than the other.
Yeah.
I mean, the Bloodline Civil War was amazing. Again, I still say that they should have called that pay-per-view Bloodline Civil War and not Money in the Bank because Money in the Bank was not actually the focus of that pay-per-view. But alas.
Yeah.
But I digress.
Slammiversary is always a banger. You know, we got Trinity getting her rightful
the
shine
knockout title.
Mm-hmm. What's the other one? Blood and Guts was Blood and Guts.
It was.
I mean, it was Moxley Blood and Guts.
That's a totally different conversation. But see, I would like, if you look at the Ring of Honor show and what they were able to do with it, like, I like the realism of the way they present pro wrestling in Ring of Honor and Impact specifically. When I had Mike Bennett on the show, one of the questions I asked him, since he's been kind of a journeyman, he's worked a little bit of everywhere. I said, in your opinion right now, and he was a free agent at the time, so he wasn't contractually obligated to anyone. I said, right now in pro wrestling, are there any companies that are putting an emphasis on the wrestling side of sports entertainment, not just the entertainment side? And he said NWA and Impact were putting the biggest emphasis on like the wrestling side of pro wrestling versus the sports entertainment side of pro wrestling. So I like the realism there. Money in the Bank was one of those like really blown up shows for me. Like it almost felt bigger than a normal Money in the Bank with it being in London.
It did.
Like it felt a little bit bigger than normal. And even with the Money in the Bank matches maybe not being the biggest story on either, like for either match, neither one of those were the biggest match on the card. Like to me, it just, when WWE does it big, they know how to do it big. And there's no question about that. So part of me wants to give it, Money in the Bank for that. Blood and Guts for the same reason, because they did so good of presenting. Like, people wanted to say the match was a little bit overbooked, like the Blood and Guts match. But I think the finish happened the way it needed to. Like, the Golden Elite went over, and it was a good match. But I think I'm going to have to give it to Slammiversary. Like, I think my overall favorite pay-per-view of the month was Slammiversary, man. That Aldous Shelley match was unreal good. Like, Trinity winning it, the tag title match, Kenny King winning the digital media title on the pre-show. Like,
pre-show at that.
5 of 6 titles in Impact changed that night. Like, there were lots of cool things that happened with it. So I'm 90% sure I would say Impact Slammiversary was the best pay-per-view in July for sure. You guys agree?
I
agree with Slammiversary. I think it had a great build-up. It executed well. And they kind of reset everything going on to move to the next Slammiversary.
Agreed. Like, Impact is set up nice now where for the next year with all these titles having new champions.
Fresh stories.
Yeah, you're not sure where they're going to go with it. And Scott D'Amore has been, like, killing it recently. Impact is on another level good right now. So I'm really excited for it. So Impact Slammiversary, you win July. Something else weird about July, and this is hard to talk about. I'm trying to keep up with this match because Wes Lee is a lot of fun, and I like this rejuvenated Mustafa Ali. Like, I'm here for it. I don't know why where'd the third person go? Where'd Dom go? I missed it.
He's outside.
Okay. In July, we've had my notes for the episode. I wrote down summer of injuries because here's a list of people in the month of July that were injured and had to miss ring time or TV. KO, Jimmy Uso, Jamie Hayter, Rey Mysterio. Forgive me, but the one guy from Pretty Deadly, that Ridge Holland, and then Liv Morgan is injured again. So that's just a list. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 people that are in, upper mid-card main event style, like bookings and stuff. And Jamie Hayter was just the women's world champion in AEW too. Yeah. But tons of injuries. What do you guys think is this injury bug? Like, does it seem like more than normal? Do we feel like, this is just part of pro wrestling? To me, it seems like there's more injuries than we normally have. Seems like lots of people are on the shelf.
Summertime, there's always injuries, like in the summer. Like, I don't understand if people are just like in their off time, like doing crazy shit, and then like they come to the ring and it's like you're already kind of banged up from, like, I don't know, jumping off a jet ski or whatever you fucking rich people do.
Whatever rich people do.
Whatever rich people do.
Whatever rich people do. It's the summer of injury and it's the summer of pregnancies too. Because like there's a bunch of women that are pregnant, amazing for them, but like there's so many people out
I'm pregnant.
This happened in July. This is relevant. Did you see Carmella on doing her? She still did the bikini show in July, and she's 6 months pregnant or something crazy like that.
Was it the Victoria's Secret swimsuit?
Yeah, it was the Victoria's Secret swimsuit thing, and she did it 6 months pregnant or whatever. And I was like, hell yeah, girl!
Because she's a fucking boss.
Yeah, she is. I'm pregnant with a food baby, says AJ. Dude, I have been there. After we go off air, we're gonna cook some chicken while the table spot's going. I'm gonna give everybody the subathon update because we are at 27 and a half hours. You guys can still wait 27.
I thought it was 28.
It's 28 and a half hours, so minus an hour. I don't have the clock open in front of me right now. So 27 hours and 50 minutes. We've done an hour. But yeah, like, way to go, Carmella. So the injury thing, yeah, it just seems like there's a lot of extra injuries this year that we haven't normally seen at this point. The match escalated for a second. I got into it.
Yeah, so did I.
I lost my train of
thought. It's so hard to multitask.
Yeah.
Out with two L's.
Out with two L's. We usually don't run against pay-per-views, but we started the subathon, so I figured worst case scenario.
To be fair, I also forgot about this pay-per-view.
Yeah.
Yeah, I crashed after my subathon. I crashed for like 2 days. I was done.
We're gonna finish up. We'll wrap up right now as it stands at between 11 and 12 o'clock Central Time tomorrow night on Monday. But once again, I'll go over everything towards the end of the episode of how we can add more time as we go.
What's funny is that you were originally going to take all of next week off.
Yeah, I realized that this was originally the week that I had booked to be off, and then I did the subathon, and I bought interviews leading up because we've got the New South show on Saturday, so I've got 3 New South interviews dropping this week, leading up for the anniversary show. I was supposed to be off this week. That didn't happen.
Where can people check out New South at? I know they have a special on Fight with GCW.
New South is located in Alabama. They're down towards they're based mostly out of the Florence and Birmingham area.
Good area.
Yeah. They also work in Georgia towards Chattanooga some.
That border area.
Ooh, what's up?
Yeah.
Cheered for 5 bits this minute. I need to look up and see how much that is. That adds, I think that's 5 minutes. I'll have to see how much time that adds. I'll write it down so I don't forget to add it. Boom. I wrote it down. Thank you, Scows. I got to figure out how to put Twitter updates or the Twitch updates like some other shows do. Because on StreamYards, you can't do it as easily as you could do on Streamlabs.
No, it's kind of difficult. You need to set up a Stream Elements.
Yeah.
And connect it to your Botched or Rivet City Radio's Twitch.
Yeah.
And then you'll get when people follow, it'll pop up and shit like that.
That's what I've got to figure out how to get it all linked up. Stream Elements. I'm going to write that down too because I'll have plenty of time over the next 24 hours to do some research.
Mm-hmm.
All of a sudden, shit'll just start popping up on the screen. Because I'll figure it out and I'll be able to plug it in and it'll just start happening. This has been a really, this is surprisingly good match. NXT's impressed me. Big super kick. Dom was going for his dad's moves because that's what he does is his dad's moves.
What the hell is this? No chance.
Is he going to do it? Oh.
This is either going to be really cool or suck for Ali.
He's about to hurt someone. I hope not. I'm sorry. I shouldn't say that. He just ripped the top of the turnbuckle thing off. What for?
Get better gripping.
100%.
So interesting. Dom, Dom and Rhea have been doing.
Oh, shit.
Oh! That looked painful. Jeez. He landed in a fetal position on that 450 splash, dude. Wow.
Yikes.
Wow.
Rhea and Dom have been doing, their little interview things where Rhea is like, my favorite thing to do with Dom is fuck. And then she said it was on TikTok. And then Dom did one they asked him if he'd ever reconcile with his father, and he was like, "I can't. My father's dead, but I'll always miss you, Eddie."
Like R.I.P. Eddie.
Yeah.
Playing into the heel tactic. I like it.
Yeah.
So he's going back to the Eddie is his father thing.
I don't consider this a rehash. I consider this a continuation of that storyline.
That's exactly what it is. Long-term storytelling at its best.
It's finest, baby.
That story is what? Damn near 20 years old now.
What's next?
Injury bug we got.
Yeah.
Storylines. So I wrote down what I thought were the biggest storylines in July. I want you guys to tell me if you forgot any and what your favorite of these stories were. Chat, if I missed something, chime in. Let me know. Alex Shelley in Impact as the Impact World Champion. The Aldous build, the way before Sabin got injured, the way they were foreshadowing the option C down the road, like so many cool stuff. The bloodline implosion, like we saw that coming, but it really kind of like went into fruition here. Scowls, I'm a Wesley fan. I didn't really get down on the Rascals at first, but I'm getting into it.
Come on, Will, give it to me. There you go. We'll make him a Rascal fan.
I'm getting there. The rise of the Golden Elite, like Kota Ibushi coming to AEW and everything that kind of happened there. G1 Climax started, and they've had some screwiness in Japan. Mr. and Mrs. Money in the Bank with Io and Damian. And then the super best friends, MJF and Adam Cole.
Mm.
Did I miss anything? You missed Leo Rush getting injured last night. We were just talking about that.
Because he just got signed.
Yeah, he just signed with Impact.
AEW?
No, Leo Rush is in Impact. He's
the
X
Leo
Division
Rush.
champ.
Sorry, I'm thinking Rouge.
Rouge, yeah,
Whatever.
no, different person. Rouge did not win the X Division champion. Leo Rush did. It was a good match. Like I said, he squashed Sabin because of the injury, but they did what they could with it. Let me take a look at this. So I think my favorite story in July is probably MJF Adam Cole.
You missed Trinity winning the Impact title. That was huge.
Oh, that is a really good one.
Thank you, AJ.
Thank you, AJ. Her build in the women's division and Impact has been great. So I'm here for that as well. Trinity definitely deserves her roses, as they say. But MJF Adam Cole, man, I think that's a lot of fun. Everything they're doing right now. MJF's refusal to turn on Cole on Wednesday night was awesome. No, it was Saturday night. That was last night, not Dynamite. So it's a lot of fun seeing that side of it. 1, 2. Dirty Dom gets the win. Yep. Do you consider that a dirty finish?
Like, no disqualifications, so it really didn't fucking matter.
That's true. Like, it was one of those situations where somebody hit their finisher, he threw him out of the ring, Dom hit his finisher and got the pinfall. That's a protected way, I guess, to make it look like the other guys didn't lose.
Mm-hmm.
But I think Wesley having to take the pin says something. Maybe they'll build with Mustafa Ali then.
They keep acting like they're gonna, and then
they don't.
They don't.
He's been asking for his release for he asked for his release forever, and then he took it back, and now he's back into it again. And it's like, what do you want, bro? Like,
they're breadcrumbing him.
Yeah, they're just kind of giving him a carrot on a stick or whatever analogy you want to use for it.
The
treadmill and a hot dog.
Treadmill and a hot dog.
The therapist's wording is they're breadcrumbing him.
They're breadcrumbing him. Just enough to keep him interested. He can't be, I don't know his current situation with his contract. I can't imagine they're paying Mustafa Ali 7 figures.
Probably not.
I don't see it.
Yeah.
Is WWE that toxic boyfriend that just,
will gaslight the shit out of you and make you successful, but kind of hold you under their thumb the whole time? Absolutely. Yes. That's 100% with WWE. Look at John Cena. That man is
They
owned.
gave John Cena the keys to the castle.
Yeah, but he's also owned by the WWE. Like,
Yeah, forever.
yeah, like there's nothing that man will ever be able to do where they can't legally try to lay claim to a cut because he let them license his real name. Like,
Idiot.
that's why a lot of people won't sign contracts like that, and WWE is forced to repackage all these guys, aka the WWE identity crisis, as I like to call it.
Yeah.
So what do you guys think best story in July was?
I think MJF and Adam Cole, only because, like, I'm ready for the bloodline to be resolved. Because it's been 2 years, I'm over it. Like, let's go. Like, they keep refreshing it slightly, but, like, I needed to come out that what I said the whole time is the thing, that Paul Heyman is the fucking mastermind behind the whole thing, and he's working for somebody else because he's the one that brought Sammy in, convinced them to bring in Sammy, then he, tried to get, then he's the one that got them to turn on Sammy. So I'm just saying, Paul Heyman is the mastermind behind it all.
Will or Allison's big kosher balls, but one of them, if not both of them, said we are bigger than NXT.
No, I just said, Ritter, that you could watch two things at once.
I am 100% bigger than NXT. No, I'm not. Not even a little bit. But I do like how Matt's watched on two different, forms now. He's been on YouTube and Twitch, so way to go. I applaud you for that. Collision and SummerSlam going head-to-head.
Stupid.
That's a great question, and there's a lot of history in that question. That's an old-school WWE tactic, because they would do that against WCW, and they did it against Jim Crockett Promotions a ton. Jax, do you think it's a shady business practice to run a wrestling show in the same city?
Are they in the same fucking city?
They're not yet. They are in Chicago in September, I think. Me and a buddy of mine, if we're talking about it. But WWE has historically ran on nights to compete, and now that Collision is there, it's like they have to go head-to-head now. Like, do you think that's a shady business practice to intentionally make you go head-to-head with your competitor? Or do you think it's just getting the edge?
I think it's just getting the edge. I don't think it's shitty.
I think it's dumb of Tony Khan. But what I also find interesting is last year, like they knew that it was going to be on a Saturday. Like, they knew when they brought in Collision that they were going to have to compete with WWE. Yeah, WWE pay-per-views, because, like, as smart people, they have moved their pay-per-views to Saturdays because it makes fucking sense. I think that it is going to be very difficult for Collision to do well against SummerSlam.
Shadow says he doesn't think they'll get 300,000 views. I didn't see the ratings from last week, and obviously this week's hasn't happened yet, but there was one a week or two ago that was down in like the 450s range. Like, they're not getting stellar views. I don't think they've had one over 1 million views yet at all in the 6 weeks or whatever it is that they've been on. They have yet to have a million viewer episode.
Because it's a Saturday. Unless it's a pay-per-view, I'm doing other shit at 7 o'clock on a Saturday.
The 605 Super Show used to run on Saturday nights, and they were super successful. That's what started the war. That's what, in 1983 on Black Saturday, that's what it was all about, was Vince McMahon bought out Georgia Championship Wrestling for their TV spot on Turner Time.
Yeah, but Saturdays in the summer, no one's fucking home.
And then when you think about the fact that the primetime NCAA football game starts at 7 o'clock on Saturday nights during football season, they're going to be going head-to-head against your Alabamas and your Georgias and your USCs and your Ohio States. Yeah.
3 times, baby. 3 times.
Yeah, but so you do have 3 now. Between number 1 and number 2 was like 86 years or something crazy.
It was not.
It's fucking 40. You leave me alone, you jackass.
First of all, when was the last time UT was even remotely in the realm of possibilities for
We were number one in the nation 3 years ago.
a day.
For a whole week. Thank you.
Yeah, they did make it a whole week. I'll give them that.
Where have we seen that before? Your grab for Collision this week is CM Punk is defending an AEW title. He doesn't technically have anymore, but here's the twist: he spray painted an X on it.
It's a whole new belt.
It's a totally different world title now than MJF's.
Adam and Max save a lot of the boring elite dumb fuckery.
I had a lot of fun watching Collision last night. It was a great episode.
I did too.
Like, it wasn't bad at all. I did not have a bad thing to say about it.
When did you watch that?
Last night from 7 to 9 p.m.
Oh, I was like, where the fuck was I? I was not home.
Yeah. No, I watched it last night live and ate a frozen pizza.
Because I'm like frozen stuffed crust.
Yeah? DiGiorno?
Yes, DiGiorno, actually.
You don't talk about Young Bucks like that.
Listen, Shano. The Young Bucks are Anime DX per Will. He coined that term.
They're Anime DX.
And yes, counterfeit Bucks. 100%. And also, Shadow, I don't like Kenny Omega either. So,
fair enough.
For reasons not outside of wrestling.
Oh, there are 100% reasons outside of wrestling. Tiffany Stratton or Stratus? Tiffany Stratton.
Stratton. I think they're trying to make her look like Mandy Rose.
Shadow says he's coming in. He's coming in hot. Don't you talk about my Young Bucks.
Like, don't you see it? Like, they're trying to make her look like Mandy Rose.
I don't like the Young Bucks' new gear. I like the old tassels.
Yeah. Ritter said he came over to Twitch just to tell Shadow I love him, but the Young Cucks ain't it.
Facts.
He came from YouTube to Twitch to translate that word. Listen, I love you. They're just not the move. That's hilarious. Thanks everybody for stopping in. I see more people are coming in now. NXT is starting to slow down. People are like, fuck, we should have watched Spots and Chair Shots. We missed the first hour. See, I told you. Matches. Listen, sir. Matches in July. This was my rundown. Trinity Deanna at Slammiversary. Shelly and Aldis at Slammiversary. The Blood and Guts match. FTR Bullet Club Gold from Collision, I think 2 weeks ago. Seth and Finn at Money in the Bank. Bloodline Civil War at Money in the Bank. And then the Sammy versus Dom match on Raw that was last week, I think. All really great matches. Did you guys have a favorite match in July that stood out? It doesn't have to be on my list. Maybe another one that you're like, this was great.
FTR versus the Bullet Club.
That was definitely my favorite too. That was hands down one of the best matches I've seen, not just for tag team, but like in general. It was one of the best matches. You can like who you like, but just like who you like, you're still wrong. I like how you took the time to write that out. Just so you
were speaking.
I like the professionalism.
Professionalism.
What was your match of July? Oh, you never said.
My match of July is Nobody's Perfect. Cam likes Jericho. You like the Cucks, and Will and Allison like Charlotte. I do fucking like Charlotte.
It broke his little heart on Wednesday night when he found out Cam liked, and he loves everything Bray Wyatt. See, and I can't stand Wyatt. Scott D'Amore and Eric Young versus Bully Ray and Dieter. That was a great match. That tag team match. That was at Slammiversary.
Yeah, it was. Scott D'Amore still has it.
I think the best match that I saw in July,
Yeah, Eric. Yeah.
I don't know. I will say I did really like the Bloodline Civil War. I think it was a really good match because they're all amazing.
They are good workers.
Like,
that's not a bad pick.
Finn Balor and Seth Rollins also fucking banger.
That's one of those matches you knew what you were going to get, though, when you booked Finn Balor against Seth Rollins. You knew it was going to be a great match. It was going to be a banger. It was going to go hard. Like, they were going to blow the roof off of it, and they did. And I think that's kind of why they opened with it.
Yeah. Like,
and I know he had to fly off to get back to the States to shoot the movie and everything. I understand that. But ultimately, like, it would have been the match to open with if it wasn't going to be the match they closed with. Mello versus Dragunov. Yeah, AJ, that's the only reason it's not on this list is because it hadn't happened yet. But I very firmly believe that here in a few minutes when I roll the credits and we go to just watching along and talking shit about NXT, like, I have a feeling that match is going to make me pop like crazy because both those guys are ridiculous workers.
And Dragunov is you're going to have to kill me to pin me.
We saw what Walter had to do to him. And,
gave his chest.
Yeah. And we got Ilyanov and Walter 2 was my match of the year in 2021. And they went 1-1 in their matches. So, like, technically speaking, if Dragunov gets called up to the main roster, we could get the rubber match.
Oh, we could.
Because Walter beat him the first time, and then Ilya took the belt off of him when he came over to NXT full time. And now, they came over and did that match, Ilya Dragunov versus Walter Part 2. And that's when Ilya beat him. And now they're on the main roster, or he could be on, like, coming up on the main roster would put him in there for the third match. So I would be behind that. That would be a great match if that was who they decided to take the IC title off of him.
That'd be insane.
The match we would get from that would be nuts, especially Walter now. Think about who Gunther is now versus who Walter was 2 or 3 or 4 years ago. Like, the body transformation on that man is fucking ridiculous.
Well, I'm here with you, brother. I'm here with you on that.
Yeah, like, it would be just an absolute banger of a match. Who's the guy in the sweater, Scouse? What's important about this guy?
The guy in the sweaters?
That's
Andre Chase.
Okay.
I see Chase you.
Chase you. Is that like the Alpha Academy but in NXT?
More like a high school thing, kind of like college.
Like a Letterman thing. Chase you. Got it. Thank you, Scouse.
Yeah.
Okay, that makes sense. I like the boxing robe. Tiffany Stratton looks like
she's if you already had Mandy Rhodes at home.
Yeah. I literally was going to try to say that she looks like a wannabe Mandy Rose, but I didn't want to say that.
No, that's what I'm saying. Like, they're literally just trying to make her Mandy Rose.
They had a pep rally the first time they found each other. So it's more like Spirit Squad. Got it.
Yeah, Spirit Squad mixed with Alpha Academy.
That's a great way to look at it. I can respect that. He streams on Twitch. Fuck yeah, that's cool. I'm here for it. All right. Well, I mean, that's pretty much it, guys. But since we're subathoning, after we plug ourselves and we roll the credits, me and Jax are going to come back and hang out and watch Great American Bash. Jax, you want to plug yourself? Tell everybody where to find you.
You can find me on the X. Is it the X now or is it still Twitter? Is it considered Twitter or X?
I don't know. I don't want to X something. I'm going to tweet it.
Yeah.
You can find me on Twitter for all the updates of what's going on with me at Jaxbo 2020 or the Ginger Ninja Jaxbo 89, whatever one you want to search it through.
Al.
You can find me on the tweeters, Instagram, and the TikTokies.
Yes, you can come on and watch Great American Bash with us, Matt.
At Just a Girl 918. I'm trying to get my life back together from the crazy, ridiculous summer that we have had. So I will be doing some more content soon. But to touch base on my Pissed Off for Greatness, my closing thoughts are be respectful to the ladies of the wrestling community and don't just assume that they don't know what the fuck they're talking about. So That's all.
Facts.
Stephanie McMahon's a homewrecker.
Stephanie McMahon's the home record. That's long-term storytelling. Go
It
back
is.
and watch Jack's first episode.
Where him and I literally go into the whole thing about how Stephanie.
You guys went on like a 20-minute tangent
Yes.
about how it was Triple H's career, like when we were doing because we did Mick Foley and then we did Triple H and then we did the Mick Foley Triple H like saga in 2000. And when we were on the Triple H episode, we talked about y'all went on like this 20 or 30-minute
Yes.
tirade about how Stephanie was.
She is.
She is. He cheated on China with Stephanie.
All right, guys.
Homewrecker.
Before I roll the credits, check the link in the Discord. Check out the Off the Top Discord. That's the home landing page for all things Rivet City Radio on the Discord world. If you're into merch and you want to check and cap some of that sweet botch spots and share shots stuff, check out the angrylemonade.com/botch spots and share shots. Give us that Bezos money. If you've got an Amazon Prime subscription, you can also use it here for Twitch, gaming, and it's free. So give it to us or give it to one of the other stuffs. Don't give it to Jeff Bezos. He has too much money. What's up, Jax?
Which I use my Amazon subscription on Rivet City Radio this month.
Yeah, you did. Yeah, you did because you were when I started promoting the subathon on Tuesday, you were the first person
I was like,
to
fuck
add
you
the
with
sub
the
to it. Yeah, you were the very first person to do it. Patreon.com/Rivet City Radio. It's $5 a month, but you get all the exclusive Rivet City Radio stuff, the My GM mode with Scals and Jamie. You get the Rivet City Radio power rankings. Those are going to go up in the morning. You get the After Dark stuff. We're going to be starting the Raw Rewind very, very soon. Tons of Patreon exclusive stuff. Lots of fun stuff happening. We've got the subathon going tonight through tomorrow night. So stick around. You'll see me a lot. You'll see Jax a lot. You'll probably see Al a little bit more. We've got Paying Dues with Jamie Rose. We've got me and Jax on Nerdy News on Tuesday. And then Wednesday. Yeah. And then we got the Boom with Cam G on Wednesday. So stick around. Hang out. We'll be right back. I'm going to roll this outro. Then we're going to watch some NXT.